What's going on? My name is DameSmiff, and I wanted to chat with you guys real quickly about body composition and how food and exercise affects your body in different ways. And these will be some of the basic things that I've learned through my fitness journey. And I want you to leave in the comments some of the things that you've learned and what's worked for you and what maybe didn't work for you. And we can have that conversation. So, firstly, one of the things that you may hear often in conversation about fitness and nutrition and things like that will be words like macronutrients or fats and carbs and protein, right? And all these cool different things, right? So each of these things, without getting confused and disarrayed with all the information, let's just look at it at a very elementary kind of perspective, okay? So when you're thinking about food, the purpose of food really is to refuel and restore your body and give you energy. Now, in some of your goals, you may have like a weight loss goal, or maybe you want to build muscle or make changes to your body. Then you're going to have to look at food as a way of giving you energy to complete that goal, right? And so when you're trying to lose weight, you have to burn more energy than you consume. Because if you have excess energy, your body will store it. And how does your body store it? It stores it as fat. And so when your body stores fat, that's where you get the, rolls and things like that that we may not like on our body. But on the other hand, if you want to build muscle, then you must eat a lot of protein and more calories in order for your body to have the energy to lift and do resistance training or whatever it is you're doing to build muscle, and also the protein in order to actually feed nutrients into the muscles and actually get them to grow. And so once you get this nice balance and a good plan by working with a coach or getting on some kind of plan or guide, then you can follow this, and through consistency and some tweaks here and there, you'll begin to see changes within the body. Now, some of the mistakes that I've made and that I've seen other people make is that we tend to really focus on one nutrient or really hyper focus on one or two nutrients, and then we miss out on a lot of other good things that many other nutrients may have for us, right? And so, in order to avoid that, this is why you want to have a variety of things you like to eat. And also, you want to have a lot of options when it comes to movement and exercise and getting your body up and expending that energy you've been eating. So, when we keep these very basic things into perspective, let's do a quick recap. You want to, if you want to lose weight, you want to move more or spend more energy than you consume or eat. Meaning, if you're burning 3,000 calories in a day, you want to eat at least 2,500 in order to make sure you're burning more calories than you're eating. And then on the other side, if you want to gain weight or build muscle, you want to eat more calories than you are moving. But in order to do that properly, you really want to focus on what your calories are made up of. And so if they're good calories, like they're delicious whole foods and, not candy and empty calories like cookies and whipped cream and frosting and stuff like that, and sugary drinks, then your body can use all of that energy that you're putting in excess and put it in the right places, especially if you're keeping yourself active. And so these very, very basic things seem simple when we have a conversation about it. But as I said, these things are kind of difficult to maintain. And this is where you want to have a plan in place and you want to have options in place. So that way you can find things that you can actually stick to. You don't necessarily want to hyper focus on, let's say, cutting carbs, because you may need carbs eventually. Like your body needs carbs for energy. So it doesn't make sense to, remove them completely or nearly cut them out unless you have a very specific goal with a plan, right? So it doesn't make sense to just do that without a very, very good reason. And so the thing that makes sticking to these plans difficult is the fact that you don't have many options available to you. And so Some days you're not going to want to eat the same foods. Some days you're not going to want to do the same exercises. Some days the same exercises won't work as effective as other days. And that goes the same with food. Some foods may not give you as much energy, or maybe you need a different kind of food rather than the same old thing you've been eating, because your body is either growing or adapting to what you're eating. And so, again, working with a coach, you can learn all of these really, really cool things, and they'll be able to walk you through a lot of the pitfalls that they may have had or with other clients, or things that are generally the issues when it comes to trying to sculpt the body you really, really want, right? And another thing I see a lot of people do, I haven't had this problem because I'm more into like calisthenics to get my heart rate up. But another thing I see is people really, really, really hone in on cardiovascular exercises, which would be like running and being on the treadmill, ellipticals, and stairmasters, right? This is really good for heart health, lung health, endurance, getting your breathing, and understanding, that like mental kind of endurance that you get from running in a long, long, cardio session. But when it comes to making very specific changes to your body, like building a chest or building a stronger back, or for the ladies, bigger legs and bigger butt, right? These things are going to take resistance training, if that makes sense. And it doesn't even matter what size you are, because you're going to have to adapt your body to moving through life with bigger muscles, because that's what you're really trying to change. When it comes to doing cardio, like I said, it's more about your cardiovascular health, not your muscular health, right? And so things like that can be a little confusing for first time people and new people. For me, it wasn't really the cardio thing. For me, it was eating too little. I was eating way too little in the beginning, to where my body was just kind of like in starvation mode, and I wasn't really losing weight. I was just kind of hanging on to weight. And then when I learned to like get the metabolism going and eating more foods and moving more in unison with energy and sleeping more too, that's another one. You kind of see how your body starts to work as a machine, more so than like some kind of like video game console. I guess is not a good comparison, but in the sense of like, you can't really tell your body, hey, get up today and do the right thing. You kind of got to get it into a rhythm, get it into a flow. And so it takes time to get rid of bad habits and then develop new ones, and then nurture those new habits and then to keep them going. So things like this are kind of what I think about when it comes to changing your body. It's really about A, calories, how many you're eating, and how much of it you're burning. Meaning, if your goal is to lose weight, are you burning more? Or if your goal is to gain weight, are you eating more? And then it comes to making sure you're picking the right plan. So if you're going to be losing weight, you're going to be obviously getting a little bit more active, but are you including resistance training? Are you doing things like yoga, Pilates? Are you really living the lifestyle that the body you want truly lives in? And then lastly, making sure you're getting a lot of the right foods and good choices when it comes to restoration and like sleep. And you're not eating sugary drinks before bed, and if you are a coffee drinker or things like that, you have like an idea of how much caffeine you're eating throughout the day. So being very aware of yourself is pretty much the last point. But if this was super helpful to you, let me know, because I do want to have more like kind of candid conversations like this with you guys. And things like this will be more helpful for people that are kind of like just wanted to learn the basics. So if you wanted to get more in depth and have any more specific questions or comments and things like that, make sure to leave them below, because I'll be checking them out and I'll try to help you guys out. So if this was helpful, let me know. But I'm out. Peace.